But anyway, moving on. Deebo Samuel has officially requested a trade away from the
Yep.
49ers. I don't think he gets traded personally. I think it's about 60-40 right now that he doesn't get traded. Because from what I've heard, the Niners are asking a lot, like Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams type of price. And then, Deebo Samuel's also asking for a lot of money, like a Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams type money. So that's two things you got to take into consideration with this. Um, I think too, from what I've heard, it sounds like the request is a little bit more about usage than it is about money. It's about both. But from what it sounds like, is he'll take a little bit less money if he doesn't have to be a running back on top of a wide receiver. And I think that's the problem is the Niners want to use him in any way they want, but not pay him as if he's being used in both of these positions. So he feels a little disrespected. And this isn't from anybody. This is just from me reading through the tea leaves.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Deebo Samuel thinks he feels disrespected, but from what I've seen and everything I've heard, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
And we saw the clip, on Instagram Live with Deebo Samuel talking to AJ Brown about his agent, saying that the 49ers won't give him more than 20. They know he's worth more, but they won't give him more, because they just won't. And that's why he requested the trade. And I feel like with the usage stuff, they're basically saying we won't pay you more, but we won't give you less usage. So it's kind of like one of those tough things. But at the end of the day, I think they end up coming to a conclusion because they unlike other NFL teams use Deebo in such a specific way that really, really makes him shine. Whereas I feel like other NFL teams could have an issue with that, and that's probably why they don't want to give up quite as much that as the Niners want, because the Niners do see him as a legit wide receiver one. And I don't know if other NFL teams, I'm sure there are some that do, but I don't know if other NFL teams do as well because of the way he is used in San Francisco.
So and like he reminds me of a better Cordell Patterson, right? Like,
I don't hate that.
and so because Cordell Patterson, especially after he left Minnesota, has been tried at a couple of different positions,
Hmm.
running back and wide receiver,
Hmm.
and really in like New England, um, they found a formula where he thrived in both positions. So like I could see New England being a potential team, but they don't have the pieces, nor do they have the money.
Right.
Like
Or the,
that doesn't
yeah.
make any sense.
I
I
feel
could see
like, go ahead.
I could see like Atlanta
Hmm.
wanting to be a position because
Hmm.
like Kudal Patterson is now 32, 33. Like he's getting up there in age. And really Deebo Samuel is just a younger version of him and probably a better version of
Yeah,
him.
a much better version at wide receiver, especially in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And so like I could see New England, Atlanta, and like maybe a couple of other teams
Yeah.
using him in similar ways as San Francisco has. And so like to me, it's not really a question on whether he's going to be used the same way that he's being used in San Francisco because we've seen that, especially
Right.
with similar athletes with Patterson. Um, but to me, it's really like, oh, I only want to do running back because that's going to injure
Right.
that's going to injure me potentially more, and
Yeah.
then I won't be able to gain my earnings later down the road.
Yeah.
Um, and so I don't know. I also agree that probably he's not gonna get traded, but like again, Jets right now are really looking for a wide receiver.
Hmm.
They could sell. They could buy like create a huge package to 49ers if they wanted to. And
Hmm.
like other teams that need a wide receiver probably could pick up some significant package.
Well, for what I have on my list right now, I have Atlanta, the Jets, Detroit, New Orleans, and Philadelphia. And this is the same list for Deebo and AJ Brown, which we'll talk about after. Let's just work that in here because it's basically the same conversation.
So
Um,
like here's the difference with AJ Brown
mhm.
and Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo has more should have more interest than
Really?
AJ Brown.
Why?
Um, And that the only reason why I say that is because AJ Brown is kind of like a Anquan Bolden. He's not really your speedy type. He catches a lot of like really awesome competitive balls, but he's not gonna blow you away. And I
I
don't
feel like him
know,
and Deebo are pretty close in speed. I think AJ Brown might even be faster than him.
really,
Yeah, I mean, I know, or I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the 40 times are for AJ's faster. Deebo, they're probably very similar in terms of game speed. Debo's probably a little bit like quicker, in terms of like, getting to his top speed faster. Um, but I don't know. I feel like AJ Brown to me would have more uh interest because he's younger. He has been a little bit injured, but not quite as much, and he doesn't have the usage on his body.
right?
And I mean, obviously you have to pay them both. But I feel like AJ Brown is, I don't want to say more worth the money, but for his age and what he does, in my opinion, I think he's a little bit better fits for the teams that would be going after him. And one thing I wanted to mention, about all these teams. So what is one thing that you hear very similar between all these teams when I list them? The Jets, the Falcons, the Lions, the Saints, and the Eagles. What do four of those five teams have in common?
For those 5 teams,
Yep.
they're all West Coast.
They all have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, but and there's the also read offenses.
Right.
Um, and I don't know. They do have 2 first round picks.
And I think
I don't
that is
think.
what it's going to help them get one of these players if it happens.
Yeah. Again, like I can't see a team like the Lions being like significant buyers.
No, no, no,
Like
no. I don't think any of them are significant. I think we're talking like a first-round pick and change, basically, is what this is
yeah,
going to be.
yeah, yeah, for sure, sure. But like to me, I don't know if the Lions have viewed themselves as like,
No,
oh, we're Deebo Samler or AJ
no,
Brown away.
no.
Um,
But
and so like I don't
well,
know if they would potentially make that move
right.
compared to like the other teams.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Um,
I think they're the outside looking in and with
right.
that,
I think they're kind of on the same stage as New England's. We're
right.
like
Well,
New England, it's like fun as a New England fan to be like, oh man, we could get Deebo Samuel or like AJ Brown. But is it really gonna happen? Probably not.
right. I feel like
Um
the Lions have quite a bit more probability with it because of a few different factors. Um,
maybe if maybe if Deebo Samuel, I don't see AJ Brown.
Yeah, I feel well, I don't know. I feel like we'd want AJ Brown more than Deebo. But again, I don't know. It just depends on what we're looking for. But realistically, I don't see us getting either of them. I think if any
Yeah.
of them gets traded, it'll be to probably, the Jets, the Saints, the Eagles, or Atlanta.
Yeah. I could see all those teams.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I think that's all we have for the around the NFL.
Yes.